Hello again. We are driving from Tempe over to near downtown Phoenix. Looks like we're going to have a storm today. I'm going to test this a little bit because having my phone up in my front windshield tends to overheat it really fast when it's 110 degrees out. So here we go. I turned my AC selector to the defroster into my feet because it blows some cold air up past my phone. Hopefully that'll work. We're on Baseline Road at Kyrene. I have been kind of busy all weekend. I've been babysitting. One of my good friends has a 1-year-old, so I've been watching them. They went to the Mad Monster convention, which is over in West Phoenix at Westgate, for the entire weekend. They came home with some cool autographs. They got Linda Blair from The Exorcist and one of the actors from The Pinhead and a bunch of other stuff that I'm not super familiar with. Mad Monster is more of a horror movie convention. Horror movies are something I do enjoy once in a while, but it's not something I'm super familiar with. I grew up as a kid of a Baptist preacher, and we're one of the strict ones, so that was the kind of stuff we weren't allowed to watch back then. But nice left turn there, dude. Alright. But anyway, yeah, so I didn't really get to watch a lot of stuff. So I've actually never seen The Exorcist all the way through. I mean, I'm kind of familiar with the premise of it, but I've never sat and watched it. I told my friend that, and she's like, well, we gotta sit and watch that. It's like, okay, we definitely need to do that. I guess Linda Blair was the kid that was in there in the movie. So anyway, yeah. Everything basically from the 90s or like the mid 90s up till now I've kind of seen a lot more of. I kind of miss some of the 70s and 80s movies. But yeah, that's what happens when you grow up in a super religious kind of right-wing household. So, and honestly, probably some of that wasn't stuff I should be seeing when I was a kid anyway. I probably wouldn't have let my kids watch some of that when they were, 10 years old. So, yeah, your mileage may vary on that opinion, but whatever. Alright, we are turning left on Mill Avenue. Oh, the clouds are pretty today. We're getting some kind of there's a big thunderstorm that's kind of just northeast of like Mesa and Chandler area. And we're under I think some sort of a storm warning for later this afternoon. Probably a good chance we'll get a good dust storm, or a haboob as I like to call it around here. So far the phone's holding up. If this cuts off suddenly, I'll come back to explain what happened. Alright, this is Highway 60, US 60. We're going to be turning left to get on from Mill Avenue. It's kind of a slow turn signal here. And US 60 goes over to I-10 and I-10 to I-17 into downtown, over by the Capitol or the downtown area. It's super sunny just west of here. You'll see in a second when I turn left. That storm looks like it's coming over the East Valley of Phoenix pretty fast. Looks like it's kind of coming down towards us. Alright, let's get around the corner. This is where my phone's gonna get overheated. Sun's blowing right onto the front of it here. Let's see how long this lasts. I'm 4 minutes in. Hopefully the AC coming out of the defroster will help kind of calm this down a bit. They just redid this entire part of the highway within the last few years. It's kind of confusing, but it definitely made a difference on the amount of traffic and traffic jams we get around here. That helped a lot. I think my biggest gripe with this is you can't see the lane lines when you're driving into the sun. It's actually pretty hard. especially around this corner up here. I thought they were going to put some blacktop down when they got done with the project. Instead, they got all these scrape marks and stuff when they were changing the lanes throughout the project, and it's just stupidly hard to see these. Feels a little windy out. I'm getting pushed around a little bit. I don't see the trees moving much though. So yeah, they painted the center markers white and then a black and then a white and a black, and there's so many that got scraped off from when they were rearranging the lanes throughout the construction project that it's a little confusing. So you got to be really careful through here. Now we're getting out of the glare of the sun, it's easier to see them. Basically, I'm going to stay in this lane the entire way, as long as nobody too slow gets in front of me. Also, the lanes shift weirdly. They just kind of move over a little bit. If you notice, I might have just been... Looks like I was weaving a little bit, but no, the lane actually shifted to the right a couple feet. Like right up here, it does it again. And then around, this is the Broadway curve, and so when you drive around it, it's not a smooth curve. It's kind of like it curves it a little bit, but it's not consistent, and then you'll get a part that straightens out for a bit, which is confusing, and everybody misses it and drives like they're drunk. And then it'll curve a little more. Here it is. Here's a straight spot for no good reason. Even the lane lines are crooked. And then we get a curve again, so you got to really pay attention to this. It's not like you just kind of set your hand on one part of the wheel and it'll take you through the whole thing smoothly. These are the brand new bridges, and they've got a bunch of HOV lanes and stuff they added. It's actually pretty nice. I mean, this is my only gripe, is with the lane lines and the visibility. It's even hard to see those too. Now there's a piece of tire on the road. Yeah, gotta watch out for those around here. People's tires blow out all the time, and they leave these chunks, which if you're a motorcycle rider, this is super dangerous. I mean, there's chunks everywhere. There's some over on the right, in the shoulder right over there. The city does come around, or the state, or I guess whoever does this, maintains the highway, comes around and picks them up occasionally. I don't know, people around here have a bad habit of not tying their ladders down or mattresses or whatever, and you randomly have miscellaneous trash and stuff on the freeway. Or a tire blows out and you got half of a tire shred sitting out here. That building on the left is the famous University of Phoenix. It's one of their offices. I wouldn't say it's famous, but I don't know. It's one of those for-profit diploma type places. I took some classes there way back. They were okay, but they're expensive. You're better off going to a state college or community college for the same classes. All right, so we've got 2 HOV lanes all the way to the left. We got the next 3 lanes on the left are going I-10, which will take you to Flagstaff if you stay on them, or Los Angeles. And then the 3 lanes, I'm in the middle one, will take you on the I-17 around the bottom of the rectangle, which is downtown Phoenix. And the far right lane exits to 24th Street, which is over by the Sky Harbor Airport. So it's one of those things, if you know what lane you're on back on Highway 60, I mean, you can pretty much stay on this one. So I'm taking I-17. I don't know if I'm just doing more of a video of driver's ed or more of a just talking while I drive. Thinking about doing some driver's ed style class or videos, just driving around. You just might be able to see that airplane taking off to the right. Downtown Phoenix is way to the right over there. It's not the biggest downtown, but we have some cool stuff here. The city had kind of a downtown with some moderately tall buildings, maybe 30 stories roughly. Nothing really that tall. And then the city kind of sprawled when it developed. I mean, if you go from corner to corner from the southeast in Santan Valley up to Surprise in the northwest, it's about 70 miles, which is quite large. And I thought it was a large city until I drove to Los Angeles for the first time. And then I realized this isn't that big of a city. Los Angeles is just absolutely massive. With all this, Los Angeles plus all the stuff around it. It's kind of weird in Arizona. You've got this big city, and then you leave the city, and it's like you reach the actual end of it. There's a line almost, and you just end up out in the desert and drive for miles and miles and miles out in the just open desert. And then you'll come to a small town once in a while, and you leave the town and back into the desert. I've got to slow down a little bit. Our 26-foot U-Haul in front of us is going slow for some reason. I mean, we're going 55 miles an hour. See, there's more tire chunder over here. The high temperatures here do a number on tires, especially if you don't change them. I mean, just because they look like they're good doesn't mean they are. Now we've got a little car in front going super slow. Like an SUV. Well, 55. I mean, I think the speed limit here might be 65. I don't remember. It's one of those things I should probably know since I'm driving on a freeway. I'll keep an eye out for the speed limit sign, but I'm going to go around this guy. If you go too slow, then you get people backed up behind you, and it just gets kind of hard to drive. I mean, you don't want to speed too fast. Oh, it's 65 through here, so he's definitely going slow. There's the speed limit on the right. So now I'm going about 67, 65. This is 7th Avenue, which is one of the main streets on the west side, because Phoenix has a Central Avenue and then all the avenues are on the west side of the city. All the streets are on the east side. So 7th Avenue is half a mile on the west side from the downtown. We have a bunch of people merging up. I'm going to get off at 19th Avenue, which is the next one here. I usually wait till the last minute right about here, just because there's people coming up that ramp frequently, and it's hard to merge because they're coming up the ramp, they're coming up slow because we're elevated right now. They've got this part of the highway up in the air for some reason. So this is 19th Avenue. So we're almost to where I'm going. This has kind of a weird exit. I'm going to be turning right at the bottom of the ramp. There's 2 lanes right here. And then there's a frontage road which has a stop sign, so they're supposed to merge for us. And then I need to move over 2 more lanes. This is the only exit that I know of at Phoenix where you don't have to stop, unless you're turning left or going straight. But this is not even a merge lane. It opens into a new lane, and you can go right through it without even stopping for traffic. Don't do that anywhere else. You'll get in an accident. And there's a pothole up here, so I kind of scooched to the left a little bit, so I miss it because I kept hitting it. So, yeah, this is 19th Avenue, downtown. This goes up to the state capitol. Tell you what, I'm going to drive past it real quick and show you. This lane ends, it turns onto Buckeye, so I'm going to skid over 1 lane. think my last video I was driving around the Capitol. I came down from 15th Avenue, which is 4 blocks to the east of here. So now I'm on 19th Avenue. It's just a bunch of little shops and stuff. Looks like they're building some new apartments or something there. There's a place that buys batteries. There's a collision auto repair. There's our little Circle K for $3.89 a gallon. Roofing, stucco, flooring, and hardscape. There's a bunch of random stuff. This is Chef Steel. They actually build, I used to work there once, and they actually build some of the largest things. They built the roof on Chase Field Stadium for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they built some very large buildings. So that's the steel manufacturing plant back there next to the railroad tracks. That used to be their headquarters on the right side, and they've moved somewhere else. Yeah, the building was way too small. I'm going to drive right past the Capitol. I was talking about the 9-story office building that the governor uses, so we'll see it better from this side. So this is Jefferson. It's a one-way street to the right, and Washington is 1 block up and goes one way to the left, just on the other side of that parking lot. This is a one-way street, and that's the building right there. Scoot over real quick. Got a solid white line. You're not supposed to change lanes. So this is the back of the Senate and House of Representatives building on the left. They used to have an open parking lot. They put a gate there. Turn left. This is the state capitol. Looks like the phone's holding up. Maybe this is AC and arrangement's better. See, there's a lot of gray clouds up there. We might get some rain later, finally. Our monsoon season is generally from July through about September. Officially, it's in June, but it doesn't actually start getting storms until July most of the time. When I moved here 20 years ago, it used to be right around the 4th of July, and now it's a week or two behind for some reason lately. I don't know if it's global warming or what, but lately that's been the weather pattern. I got some pretty palm trees through here. I will probably make a future video where I come down here and walk around the monuments and show you the buildings a little bit better. I'm going to go straight through this. They called this Centennial Way for the 1912 to 2012 Centennial. On the left is the Arizona Department of Health. And this is Van Buren. I'm going to turn right here. Oh, there's some like little place that sells those metal dinosaurs and stuff. Those are pretty cool. Alright, there's nobody coming, so you can turn right on red if there's nobody here, so carefully look. Nope, we're good. And off we go. This is Capitol High School, I believe. And a parking garage for the health department. And Phoenix downtown is straight ahead. So I'm going to probably cut this off here in a second and say goodbye, and we'll talk later. Hope you have a nice day.